بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تلاهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد. We give thanks to Allah, the Lord of the world, the controller of the universe. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to send His salutations, peace and mercy upon the noblest of man, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon his household, his companions, and those who follow the steps to the day of judgment. Amen. Firstly, we are sorry for starting late today. Inshallah, we're starting the class now. In the previous class, we discussed some important things, and in our discussions, we stopped at the alamatul i'rab, the signs of i'rab. So we are discussing the alamatul i'rab al-asliya. Then we started discussion on alamatul i'rab al-far'iyya. So we are done with the discussion on alamatul i'rab al-asliya, the primary signs of i'rab. Now we are going to start our discussion, inshallah, on the secondary signs of al-i'rab. So we have already started discussion on the secondary signs of i'rab, which we discussed about fatha as alamatul i'rab, the sign of i'rab lil jarri, for jarri, in the case of al-mamnu min al-sarf. We said mamnu min al-sarf are nouns that don't take tanween. So those nouns don't also take kasra. Instead of kasra, they take fatha in place of kasra. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, idhab ila fir'aun. Ila is harf jarri, we're supposed to give the word fir'aun kasra, but because the word fir'aun is mamnu min al-sarf, we give it fatha, and we said, idhab ila fir'auna, not ila fir'auni. Then we also talk about kasra also being alamatul i'rab far'iyya, the secondary sign of i'rab in the case of jam'u mu'annas salim. We have muslimat. For example, you say sallamtu ala ra'aytu al-muslimati. We are not going to say ra'aytu al-muslimata, because this kind of nouns, jam'u mu'annas salim, don't take fatha, they take kasra in place of fatha. So that's where we stop in our last class, in our last discussion. Today, inshallah, we're going to continue our discussion with the secondary signs of i'rab. So we are going to be looking at different type of nouns. The first category of noun we are going to be looking at today is al-asma'ul khamsa. Al-asma'u al-khamsa. Al-asma'u al-khamsa. We're also going to be looking at al-af'alu al-khamsa. Al-af'alu al-khamsa. We'll be looking at also jam'u mudhakkar salim. Salim. We'll be looking at also mu'annath, al-muthanna, sorry, al-muthanna. So al-asma' al-khamsa, to start with, I don't know if this audio is clear. To start with, al-asma' al-khamsa. Asma' al-khamsa, which means the 5 nouns. So there are 5 nouns with special alamat of i'rab. These nouns are called al-asma' al-khamsa, and they are as follow. We have abuka, أخوك ذو مال ويفوك. فوك 1 2 3 4. ويفحموك. These nouns are called الأسماء الخمسة, the 5 nouns. Why are they called أسماء الخمسة? Then we'll be talking also what are their i'rab and what are the conditions, what makes a noun to be part of these nouns. They have condition. So firstly, Asma al-Khamsa, they are called Asma al-Khamsa because they have specific i'rab and because they are 5. So actually there are 6. That's why in some books you will find al-Asma al-Sitta, but the last one is not longer used. There are some words in Arabic that they don't use again. So the last one, the 6th one, is part of them. So that's why scholars don't really talk about it in their books. So they uh, specialize and they focus on these 5 because these are the ones you need. These are the ones used for communication. So these are the Asma al Khamsa. The second thing we have to discuss are the condition. The first thing is that these nouns should be mufrad. They should be singular nouns. So abuka, which means your father, akhuka, your brother, Dhu mali, he has money. We don't need mali. What we need is dhu. We have fuka, which is your mouth, and we have hamuka. So you see their meaning. They should be singular. It should be abuka. Anytime it is plural or muthanna, then it is out of asma al khamsa. So when you say aba'ukum or aba'uka, then it is out of it. Anything time you say ikhwatuka or ikhwanuka, the plural of akhu, then it is out of asma'ul khamsa. Dhu, anytime you say zawul mal or zawatul mal, then it is out of it. Then fuka, the plural is afwa or afwaukum, then it is out of asma'ul khamsa. So the first condition is that asma'ul khamsa should be mufrad, they should be singular. So we are still discussing about this one. They should be singular. Then the second condition is that they should be mudaf. When we say mudaf, they should be related to another noun. So we only give abuka as an example. It can be abuki, it can be abukum, it can be Abu Muhammad, it can be abuna, it can be abuhum, abuha. The same thing with akhu. It can be akhuki, akhukuma, akhukunna, akhu amina. So it should be mudaf. You can see that akhu is mudaf to ka. The same thing to dhu malin. Dhu is mudaf to dhahir. So it should be mudaf, but not to ya'ul mutakallim, not mudaf to the person that is speaking. So whenever you say abi or akhi or fi, then it is out of al-asma al-khamsa. So that's the second condition. It should be mudaf, but not to ya of mutakallim, the ya of the one who is speaking, that is the pronoun of the person who is speaking. So it should be abu of something, abu of anything, abu of your abu. So, but it should not be mine. Like it should not be mudaf to ya of mutakallim. So that's the second condition, and I think these are the basic conditions. One of the conditions also is it should be mukabbar, not musakkar. A noun can be musakkar in Arabic language when we make a noun to be in its smaller uh, in its smaller version. For example, you have kitab, which means a book. When you say kutayib, a small book. So it shouldn't be obeish. Obey means small father. So it should be mukabbar, not musakkar. So these are the conditions for al-asma al-khamsa. Then i'rab of asma al-khamsa. Remember, when we talk about i'rab for nouns, we are talking about 3 things: rafu, nasbu, and jar. And when we talk about i'rab for verbs, we are talking about 3 things also: rafu, nasbu, and jazmu. Jarri is for nouns, while jazmu is for verbs. Why raf'u and nasbu, both nouns and verbs shares these two. So when we talk about i'rab of these nouns are wow as alamatu ar-raf'u. Wow is the sign of raf'u in Asma al-Khamsa. Wow alamatu ar-raf'u. So in Asma al-Khamsa, for example, you say abuka, ja'a, abuka. What is the alama of i'rab there? This wow is a sign of rafu. The same way you say ja'a Muhammadun with dhamma, but for Asma'ul Khamsa we don't have dhamma, we are going to have wow as a secondary sign in place of what? Dhamma. As for Nasbu, it's not going to take fatha, like you will say Ra'aytu Muhammadan, it's going to take alif. You will say Ra'aytu Abaka. So رأيت أباك أو رأيت أبيك أو رأيت أخاك رأيت ذا مال رأيت فاك رأيت حماك. So it's going to take what? Alif. So this alif here now is the sign of nasb, is the alamat nasb. Then in case of jarri, what is it going to take? It's going to take ya. So for example, you will say marartu bi abika. Marartu bi abika. What is the sign of i'rab here? This year. Marartu bi abika, because we have bi harfu jarri, we're supposed to give kasra, where the same way we say marartu bi Muhammadin with kasra, but for asma al khamsa we're going to say marartu bi abika, marartu bi akhika, marartu bi dhi malin, dhi malin, marartu bi أو نظرت في فيك. So these are al-asma al-khamsa. Remember, asma al-khamsa, these are the asma al-khamsa. We talk about the shurut, the conditions for asma al-khamsa. We said the first one is that they should be mufrad, they should be singular nouns. So anytime it turns to plural noun, then it is out of the rules of asma al-khamsa. The rules of asma al-khamsa is not going to play again. So when you say aba'u, so these rules are not going to apply. So it should be mudaf. Don't say mudaf, it now should be related to another noun. So you can say abuka, it can be abuki, it can be Abu Muhammad, Abu Amina, Abu Zainab, mudaf to anything. But it should not be mudaf to ya of mutakallim, to the person who is speaking. It shouldn't be abi, it shouldn't be akhi, it shouldn't be fi, it shouldn't be hami, but it should be what? Mudaf to anything at all, apart from ya of mutakallim. Then it should not be musaghar, it should not be in its smaller version. Like you say Ubay. Ubay is a smaller version of Abu, that is small father. Abu, father. When you say Ubay, small father. So and if it is not mudaf, it doesn't work also. For example, you say Abun. Abun, Abu means father. Abun. The same thing, Akhun. You see these two, they are not going to play the rules of Asma Khamsa. The rules of Asma Khamsa is not going to apply on this Abun and Ahu. Why? Because they are not mudaf. So I think we get it right. We need to know the conditions. Then we'll know the i'rab. The i'rab is that Asma al-Khamsa, for Rafu'u, it takes what? Wow. Ja'a abuka. Qara'a abuka al-Quran. Soma akhuka. It take wow as sign of Rafu'u. Then it take alif as sign of Nasbu. Ra'aytu abaka. The same way you will say Ra'aytu Muhammadan. Instead of Fatha, you give it what? Alif. Then it takes Ya as sign of Jarr. Marartu bi abika. The same way you will say Marartu بمحمد. This is al-asma'u al-khamsa, the five nouns. So now let's move to al-af'alu al-khamsa, the five verbs. Al-af'alu al-khamsa. Now, one thing we need to know is that for the asma'ul khamsa, for the five nouns, these are specific nouns. Abu, Akhu, Zu, Fu, and Hamu. These are specific nouns. As for the af'alul khamsa, there are no specific verbs that make up af'alul khamsa. So don't think we are going to give you specific verbs to say these are af'alul khamsa. No. Af'alul khamsa can be any verb. Any verb at all can be af'alul khamsa. Any verb. Think about all the verbs we have in Arabic. Thousands of verbs. They can be af'alul khamsa. But something makes them to be af'alul khamsa. So let's look at it. We are done with this. So we are looking at this now. Al-af, al-af'alul khamsa. Verbs. So, for example, if you say yadhabu, yadhabu, he's going. We have them. We have. We don't need this. This is out of it. We have yad, yadhabani. The both of them, they are going. We have tadhabani. The both of you are going. We have yadhabuna. They, plural, they are going. Then we have tadhabuna. You people, may, you are going. Plural. Then we have tadhabina. We have tadhabina. So you can see this one is out of it. So this is what we call af'alu khamsa. In summary, af'alu khamsa is any verb, fi'l mudari, that ends with alif and nun. You can see we have two. So even if you change it to from yadhab to kharaja, yakhrujani, takhrujani, or waw and nun. You can see it, we have two categories, waw and nun, which make it four, or ya and nun. So af'al khamsa are verbs that end with alif and nun, waw and nun, and ya and nun, which are fi'l mudari. If you have to count them, they are going to be five, and you can apply these to any verb. With this example we give is for dhahaba. We can give example for qara'a. Yaqra'ani, taqra'ani, yaqra'una, taqra'una, and taqra'ina. So this is what they call af'al khamsa. Now, what's the big deal? What is the i'rab of af'al khamsa? Why is it under al-i'rab bi al-alamat al-far'iyya? I'rab with secondary signs. Af'al khamsa, like other verb, you see the example I give here is yadhabu with dhamma. Now, if anything comes in the verb yadhabu that we give it fatha, is going to be, for example, lan yadhaba, like this. Lan lan yadhaba, taken fatha. If anything comes that will give it sukun, it's going to be lam, for example. Lam yadhhab with sukun. You can see the last verb. Here it takes fatha. Why did it take fatha? Because of lam. Here it takes sukun. Why did it take sukun? Because of lam. This lam and this lam, whenever they come in af'al khamsa, we are not going to give it fatha and we are not going to give it sukun. What are we going to give it instead? We are going to give it harful noon. We are going to remove the noon in af'al khamsa. So remember we say af'al khamsa are verbs that end with alif and noon, waw and noon, or yaw and noon. So where those verbs are supposed to end with, normal verb is supposed to end with dhamma, they are going to maintain their noon. Yadhabuna. Why do we say yadhabuna? Because there is nothing to give it nasbu. The same way we say yadhabu, to give it dhamma because there is nothing to give it fatha. Nothing coming to give it sukun. So a verb fi'l mudari, if there is nothing to give fi'l mudari fatha, there is nothing to give fi'l mudari sukun, then you should know that the fi'l mudari will always have what? Dhamma. That's why we have yadhabu, and that's why we have yadhabuna, tadhabuna, tadhabani. That's why we have all this noon. They call it thubutul noon, the affirmation of noon, having the noon there. But anytime anything comes that we give the fi'l mudari nasbu, we give fatha, for example, that will make you to say lan yadhaba. That will give fatha as we wrote earlier before I clean it. For af'al khamsa, what you will do is to remove the noon. They call it hadfun noon. When you will have the noon, they call it thubutu and noon. Thubutu noon. Thubutu and noon. So thubutu noon is like, let's say, the affirmation of noon, having the noon here, is the sign of raf'u for af'al al-khamsa. Thubutu noon is the sign of raf'u. Then the sign of nasbu and jazmu is hadfu noon. Hadfu noon, the remover of the noon, and noon, removing the noon, that's what they call hadfu noon. For example, you will say, you got to enrub this verb now. تذهبان. تذهبان is going to be فعل مضارع مرفوع وعلامة رفعه ثبوت النون, the affirmation of the noon. Why? The noon is here because it is جمع مذكر, because it is from the al-af'al al-khamsa. Now, if we give another example, if for example I say لن يذهب, لن يذهب, he will not go, he will never. لن يذهب, لن يذهب, he will not go. We give it fatha, right? Why do we give it fatha? Because of lan. Lan is harful nasb. Is a letter that gives nasbu to fi'l al-mudari. Let's bring any of these af'al khamsa and lan. For example, let's take tadhabin. So we'll say lan does lan tadhabin. Sorry, I'm not balanced for writing properly. Lan tadhabina. You see, we have lan tadhabina. Is it supposed to be lan tadhabina? It's supposed to be lan tadhabina. the way it is here? No, because it is now mansur because of lan. So what you are going to do is to do what? Hadfun noon, remove the noon. So to remove the noon, then it's going to give us lan tadhabi. Why? Because it is from the al-af'al al-khamsa, the 5 verbs. So af'al al-khamsa for rafu, they take thubut to noon, the affirmation of noon. For nasbu and for jazmu, they take harf for noon. The same way if you have lam, you say lam tadhhabi, lam tadhhabu, lam yadhhabu, lam tadhhaba, lam yadhhaba, hakada. So this is al-af'al al-khamsa, and this is the i'rab of af'al al-khamsa. So, and basically the i'rab is also secondary i'rab, not primary i'rab. Remember, the primary i'rab is fatha, dhamma, kasra, and sukun. So the next category of noun we'll check is jam'u mudhakkar salim. What is jam'u mudhakkar salim? Jam'u mudhakkar salim is a plural, but this plural is just for masculine nouns. The plural for masculine nouns, that's what they call it mudhakkar. So why is it called salim? Salim from the word salima is for something to be safe. So that's what they call salim. So they call it Jamu Mudhakkar Salim because the singular noun is safe in the plural noun. For example, you have Muslim and the plural is Muslimun. So we have Muslim and we have Muslimun. Muslim. Muslim is a singular noun. We have Muslimun. This is the plural. We call it Jamu Mudhakkar Salim because we can trace this singular noun in this plural noun. So you can, if you want to trace it, mim and mim, sin and sin, lam and lam, mim, the last mim and the last mim. So that's why they call it Jam'u Mudhakkar Salim. It's just well arranged. Let me give you another example to make it more clearer. If I say kitab, kitab is a singular noun, right? We have kitab. What is the plural of kitab? Kutub. Can we trace this kitab in kutub? Is it possible? Let's try. Kaf and kaf, yes, we have it. Ta and ta, yes, we have it. But alif, where is the alif? We no longer have the alif again. So the singular noun is not complete or is not well arranged. If it is not, then it is not Jamu Mudhakkar Salim. In that case, they call it Jamu Takfir. Jamu Taksir. So Jamu Mudhakkar Salim is what we want to talk about next. Jamu Mudhakkar Salim is a noun, plural, for masculine, and the singular noun is safe, like it can be traced. Singular noun can be traced in the plural. So that's why they call it Jamu Mudhakkar Salim. Understanding this definition, you will know the shurut, the conditions of Jamu Mudhakkar Salim, which includes that Jamu Mudhakkar Salim must be a masculine noun. So when it is not masculine noun, then it is not Jamu Mudhakkar Salim. Number two, it must be for human. When it is not for human, then it is not Jamu Mudhakkar Salim. It has its own name, even if it takes other conditions. Number three is that the singular noun should be safe in the plural noun. So when the singular noun is not safe in the plural noun, then it is not Jamu Mudhakkar Salim. So for example now, we have Muslim and we have Muslimun. Muslimun is Jamu Mudhakkar Salim. So what is the i'rab of Jamu Mudhakkar Salim? The i'rab of Jamu Mudhakkar Salim is waw and ya. Waw and ya. Waw and ya. So this is the i'rab of Jamu Mudhakkar Salim. Waw and ya are the signs of i'rab for Jamu Mudhakkar Salim. So wow, in the case of rafa, you will say جاء المسلمون. جاء المسلمون. You will say صلى المسلمون التراويح. صلى المسلمون التراويح. The Muslims pray tarawih. We have المسلمون as fa'il. So we have the wow. We say جاء المسلمون. جاء المسلمون. We have the wow as a sign of رفع, representing or replacing Dhamma. The same way you will say Ja'a Muslimun, Muslim, or Ja'a al-Muslimu, Dhamma. But for Jamu Zakar Salim, you're not going to have the Dhamma. What are you going to have instead? You're going to have wow. Then as for the Nasb and the Jarri, where it's supposed to take Fatha and Kasra, it's going to take what? Ya. So for example, you have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna al-Muslimina. Inna al-Muslimina. Inna is harfu nasb, and they call it harfu nasikha. It gives nasbu to al-mubtada. You say inna ترفع المبتدا عفوا إن تنصب المبتدا وترفع الخبر. إن give nasbu to المبتدا and give رفع to الخبر. So Allah say إن المسلمين. إن المسلمين. إن المسلمين. Why do I write this? إن المسلمين with ya. If you bring a singular noun, Muslim for example, it's going to be إن المسلمة. إن المسلمة with fatha. But when you have Jamu Mudhakkar Salim in this position, it's not going to take fatha, but the sign of i'rab is going to be ya. Note, this noon is not the point of i'rab. The point of i'rab is the ya here, not the noon. You understand? The noon is just like, what do I call the noon self? The noon is not the point of i'rab. You just need to get that. So the noon, the ya is the point of i'rab. So you can see, you say inna al-muslimina ismu inna mansub wa alamatu nasbihi al-ya لأنه جمع مذكر سالم. Then where it's supposed to be majrur also, to take jarri, to take kasra, it's also going to take kasra with what? Aliyah. Aliyah. So for example, you will say بيوت المسلمين. بيوت المسلمين. House of the Muslims. So for example, we have بيوت المسلمين. المسلمين. بيوت المسلمين. So not only Muslimin, we have many nouns for Jamu Mudhakkar Salim. We have قانتون, we have حافظون, we have قارئون, we have لاعبون. These are Jamu Mudhakkar Salim. So that's the i'rab of Jamu Mudhakkar Salim with waw and ya. Waw for raf'u, ya for nasbu and jarri. So we are going to move to al-muthanna. Muthanna bimana dua. So now, dua. So at-tathniya in Arabic is the addition of alif and nun to a noun, to a singular noun, or the addition of ya and nun. So we add alif and nun if the noun is in a position of raf'u, and we add ya and nun if the noun is in a position of al-jar. So for example, now we are Muthanna. We have Kitaban. Kitaban is the dua of Kitab. Okay, this Kitab. So we have Kitaban. Kitaban. What do we do? The addition of Alif and Nun to this word. Or Kitabin. Here we have, sorry, Kitabin. Kitabin. With the addition of what? Ya and Nun. So this is what they call Muthanna. Muthanna also have its shurut, so let's just mention some of it. The first one is that the word, the Muthanna, the dua, should have singular. So if it doesn't have singular, then it is not Muthanna. Then the two nouns that form up dua should be the same thing. So I can say Yadan, two hands, they are both hands. But for somebody to look at Shams and Qamar, the sun and the moon, and say Qamaran, you call the both of them Qamaran, no, it's not possible because we only have one sun and we only have one moon. You cannot say Qamaran. So even if you say Qamaran, it's permissible to say that, but it doesn't take the rules of Musanna. So, and even if you use it like that, they are going to call those one Mulhaqu bi Musanna. I forgot to also mention, I said that for Jamu Mudhakkar Salim, any noun that resembles Jamu Mudhakkar Salim and the conditions we mentioned are not complete, you call such noun as Mulhaqu bi Jam'il Mudhakkar Salim. The same thing as Muthanna. Any noun that the conditions of Muthanna is not complete, you call such noun as Mulhaqu bil Muthanna. For example, I say Ifnan. Ifnan. This is Ifnan. It ends with Alif and Nun, right? And it's two. It's talking about two. In fact, the meaning is two. But this is not going to be Muthanna. It's going to be Mulhaq bi Muthanna. Why? One of the conditions is that this noun that we are calling Muthanna should have its singular noun from its own self. So what is the singular of Ifnan? The singular is Wahid. Are they resemble? No. So it should be a word that it becomes Muthanna by the addition of Alif and Nun or Ya and Nun. But this Ifnan is not like that. Like if you see Yadan now, Yadan is the addition of Alif and Nun to Yadu. But this one is not like that. So that's why they call it Mulhaq bi Muthanna. We have many examples of Malahiq bil Muthanna. Not Malaika, Malahiqu, Malahiqu bil Muthanna. So now this is Muthanna. What is the Arab of Muthanna? The Arab of Muthanna is Alif and Ya. Alif in the case of Rafa, you will say Ja'a Taliban. Ja'a Taliban. Ja'a Talibani. So Talibani is going to be fa'il marfu wa alamat raf'ihi al-alif. Why? Because it is Muthanna. So the sign of Raf is going to be Alif. The same way you say Ja'a Talibun. For one student that is Mufrad is going to be Talibun with Dhamma. But for Muthanna, we are not going to have Dhamma. We are going to have, in place of Dhamma, we are going to have what? Alif. So that's why they say Al-Muthanna yurfa'u bil alif. Wa yunsabu wa yujarru bil ya. You will say Ra'aytu at-talibin. Ra'aytu at-talibin. I saw the two students. So it's going to be with ya. Ra'aytu at-talibin. So it's going to be رأيت الطالبين. الطالبين. So the same way you will say رأيت الطالبة with fatha, but for مثنى it's going to be طالبين with ya. It's going to be the alama of nasbu. Then we also say ويجر بالياء. It also take jarru with ya. So it's going to be مررت بالطالبين. The same way you will say مررت بمحمد, giving Muhammad kasra. But for Muthanna, you are not going to give it kasra. You are going to give it what? Ya also. So it's going to be marartu بالطالبين. Sorry for the writing. Marartu بالطالبين. So the alama of jar is going to be ya. This is Muthanna. So we've talked so far about al-asma al-khamsa, al-af'al al-khamsa, jamu mudhakkar salim, and we talk about uh, al-muthanna. There is another one we are supposed to talk, but I would just want us to leave that one. Okay. So inshallah, now we are going to move into al-i'rab bil al-harakat al-muqaddara. Al-i'rab bil harakat al-muqaddara. I'rab with harakat that they are assumed. These harakat we can't see them. We assume that those harakat are there. And inshallah, there is going to be for tomorrow, bi'idhnillah, for next session. So we have at the beginning we discussed about i'rab and bina. So where we say i'rab is for us to have harakat changing, while bina is when the harakat are not changing. So when we ask, if we say a noun or a word undergoes i'rab, but we can't see the i'rab, are we not just going to say, are we not supposed to say this is among mabniyat, it is under bina? No, it is not under bina because the case is different from that of bina. Because all these nouns, the reason why we are not seeing the harakat are different. They have reasons why the harakat are not being shown. And inshallah, we're going to discuss all these reasons and the categories of nouns in the next class. Bi'idhnillah. I hope this is clear. If there is any question you can ask, we noticed that a lot of people did not join the class, the lesson today, and that's because we did not do lesson for 2 days, and many people are not aware that we are to have this session today. And also the announcement for today's session came very late, so I hope people are still coming back to meet the video, because the video will still remain um, on the channel. If you have questions, you can drop your question. After all, inshallah, I'll go through it and try to give possible answers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.